Welcome back to Wudang Way with our tutorial series, this mini series of back to basics going over the different stances to get you introduced to what we do at the Samfunpai system. This week, as we introduced in yesterday's video, is all about going over the horse stance or mabu. So in this video, we're actually going to start doing the how-to and actually get into some of the movement and show you some of the basic structure and some ways that you can practice we'll get into throughout this week. So let's get right into it because we got a lot to cover. What we're going to do is start from the ground up and kind of explain the fundamental rules. These rules, you really want to spend a lot of time making sure they're clear because we're going to come back to them over and over and over again. So hopefully this is like the holy grail videos of mabu, how to do. Starting with the feet, as with any posture, we want to make sure that we're supported back, the weight more on the heels, but not enough to where you lift the feet off the ground and not enough to the side to where you're putting pressure on the foot and rolling the ankle. And not enough pressure on the inside to where you're caving the knees, okay? With the distance of the feet, mabu has a lot of variety. If we're doing something that's more internal, we'll have high, like a gao mabu. We'll have something that's high up where the knees and the feet and the shoulders are all in line. So the posture isn't too wide, it's not too taxing to practice. But what we're gonna be training this week and really getting into and digging into harder is the actual low posture that we're gonna use in all of our Wudang style forms. You've probably seen some of the mabus in like styles like Shaolin. Typically all Chinese Kung Fu styles have a version of mabu. The Shaolin style and other versions sometimes can be very compact, and we're going to be very short and maybe really emphasizing low posture, which we're going to emphasize as well. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to kick the feet out even wider and have a wide mabu as well as low. So you want to try to get this down to 90 degrees while opening the knees. From the ground up, we still have the weight distributed into the feet equally. We don't want to lean to one side too much, and we want to keep the feet slightly open. So if you have your foot flat, traditionally maybe we would have a mabu where the feet are completely parallel. A common mistake with this is that it caves the pressure in on the knees. And so we can actually open the toes just slightly, relieve some of the pressure in the hips, and open the frame up a little bit wider. So that's a really good essential tip to kind of keep in mind when you're doing mabu. That way we take the pressure off the knee, put the flexibility in the hip, okay? So distance can be pretty wide. Some ways we can think about that is about like 6 rotations of the feet. It's hard to correct if you're not physically in the school, but you can kind of like walk out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And about in that position is a really good starting position for mabu. Depending on what your height is, it's always a little different, right? So you got your distance, you got your feet planted, you got your weight evenly distributed. Trying to get down to flat as if you had something that you could balance on your knees. Sometimes we can take a stick, a cup of water, rocks, things like this to torture people. And then we come to the hip and the back posture. So this is really important. One of the most common mistakes for anybody, especially coming into the Wudang system of martial arts, is that we tend to get very tired here doing mabu, and we lose the strength of the upper back. And we lean forward to compensate for the pressure here. So this does a couple of things. It makes the hip go out, the chest open, and it takes the weight off the knees, which is what a lot of people are trying to find. But really we want to sink into, again, the weight on the heels and sitting back to where we can almost tuck the hip forward and drop the back straight down. To where you open up this angle and you keep the back straight, chest relaxed, and we can breathe deeply. And this posture should be very grounding, very deep. It's not really a posture meant for movement. So you're gonna have transitions into gongbu, transitions into xiebu, transitions into lots of other things forward and sideways to get out of that stance. But the mabu itself should feel, like the old adage, is growing roots. You should be growing roots deep into the ground and holding this posture, okay? The last couple things to talk about are just our basic posture. If we're doing movement, making sure that the chest stays empty so you can breathe deeply, making sure the shoulders are relaxed, and keeping the head following whichever way the waist is pointing. This we're going to come back to a lot as we get into the movement videos and into the different basics in the next couple of videos following, but make sure you go through these couple points and make sure you can kind of get down into a mabu, find the position that is probably the most taxing, and you can do some standing, you can place hands here. The hands right now you can be a little free with and just kind of emphasize the strength. Okay, so we want to have stability, flexibility, and depth. This is the key points for mabu. Okay? From there, you keep your weight back, keep practicing strengthening the upper legs, and from there we will be able to move into other stances and other trainings in the next videos to follow. That kind of wraps up this video for the tutorial on what mabu is and what the shape is like for the Wudang system. Join us for the next time where we're going to get into some actual training, walk you through some new movements. See you next time. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to hit subscribe, check out all the information underneath. There you can navigate to the Ways of Wudang Patreon account. And by becoming a patron, you can get access to all the main channel resources around martial arts, Taoist philosophy, even Chinese music, and group classes, live streams, one-on-one courses, and a bunch of other stuff as well. So I hope you'll go check that out, and I hope to see you there. Once more, thank you for all your support. We'll see you in the next video.